Every time you snap a KitKat bar in half, that crisp sound doesn't just signal a sweet break time, it echoes nearly a century of history. Beneath the smooth layer of chocolate that envelopes the golden crunchy wafer lies a process executed with meticulous precision, from the closely guarded secret recipe to the state-of-the-art machines running non-stop. Today, we're stepping inside the factory to uncover the full journey behind the creation of 8 million KitKat bars every single day.
Have a break. Have a KitKat.
The journey to crafting KitKat's signature chocolate flavor begins in West Africa, where endless cacao fields stretch under the tropical sun. In July, as the cacao pods ripen under the intense heat, farmers start the harvest season. They hand-pick each pod with care, making sure not to damage the precious cacao beans inside. After harvesting, the beans are removed and neatly laid out on large drying mats. For 8 days under the blazing tropical sun, the outer shell gradually firms up, protecting the rich aroma within. From here, the cacao beans embark on the next stage, a rigorous inspection process before entering the production facility. They undergo a series of strict tests to ensure they meet high standards. Only beans that pass checks for moisture, size, texture, and aroma are selected. Lower quality beans are discarded immediately. Finally, experts assess the fragrance to ensure each cacao bean exudes the pure, distinctive aroma that will become the soul of a KitKat bar. When the sacks of cacao beans arrive at Hershey's modern factory, they begin an hours-long process in preparation for their remarkable transformation into KitKat's silky smooth chocolate coating. The first step is cleaning. The raw cacao sacks are emptied onto massive conveyor belts that carry them to the cleaning station. Their specially designed rotating drums gently tumble the beans so they rub against each other, loosening the outer shells. At the same time, powerful air jets blow away dust-broken shells and any remaining impurities. The result, clean, intact cacao beans ready for the next stage. Next comes the trial by fire roasting. The cacao beans are placed into giant roasters, which work much like coffee roasters, but require far greater precision. The exact roasting temperature and time are trade secrets fiercely guarded by Hershey and Nestlé, as even a difference of just a few degrees or minutes can completely alter the flavor. Over the course of nearly an hour, the beans' deep, rich aroma is awakened, filling the entire factory. After about an hour, once the beans have reached their perfect roast, they are crushed in large grinding machines. This process breaks down the bean structure, releasing natural cocoa butter and transforming the mixture into a smooth, thick substance known as chocolate liquor. Despite its name, it contains no alcohol, though the richness of its flavor might make you think otherwise. Next, the cacao mass is fed into a massive hydraulic press. Under intense pressure, every precious drop of cocoa butter is extracted, leaving behind pure cacao cakes perfectly round, weighing about 15 pounds each. This is the very essence of the cacao bean, holding all of its deep aroma and rich, distinctive flavor. These golden brown blocks are then finely ground once more, transforming into smooth cocoa powder, the core ingredient behind the unmistakable chocolate taste of the iconic KitKat. From here, the fine cocoa powder is transferred into a high-capacity mixer. Pure cocoa butter is added for richness, followed by milk powder to enhance creaminess, sugar for sweetness, and a touch of vanilla to balance the flavor. Lecithin and emulsifier is added last to ensure all the ingredients blend perfectly. This is the secret to KitKat's special chocolate flavor. The mixture is blended in a large mixer, continuously rotating until it becomes a smooth chocolate mass. This mass then moves on to conching, a multi-hour process where mechanical arms constantly stir, polish, and refine the texture. Heat from the friction melts the cocoa butter, transforming the mixture from powder into a glossy, silky liquid. It's at this point that KitKat's flavor reaches its perfect harmony of aroma, richness, and sweetness. Finally comes tempering, the precise cycle of heating and cooling. The chocolate is warmed until completely melted, then cooled to about 81 degrees before being gently reheated. This controls the formation of cocoa crystals, giving the chocolate its alluring shine, a gentle snap when bitten, and that melt-in-your-mouth sensation. If the chocolate coating is the soul of KitKat, then the crisp wafer is its backbone, holding everything together and creating that signature crack when you snap it in half. The process of making it begins in massive flour silos outside the factory, where the ingredient is transported in through a sealed pipe system. The flour is fed into high-capacity mixers, combined with sugar, vegetable oil, water, and a few secret ingredients Nestlé has never revealed. Crucially, just the right amount of yeast is added to wake up the dough, creating countless tiny air bubbles. During the 30-minute resting period, the yeast consumes sugar and releases carbon dioxide. These very bubbles form the light, crisp texture that gives every bite of KitKat its satisfying crunch. Once the dough reaches perfection, smooth, creamy streams of batter are pumped into rectangular baking molds through highly precise nozzles. Each mold has a distinctive diagonal pattern, helping the wafer grip the chocolate while also giving each layer its strength. The top mold presses gently down, spreading the batter evenly before the entire system moves through a 100-foot-long oven. The molds are then baked at high heat between 350 and 400 degrees for about 30 seconds. This intense heat quickly bakes the thin biscuit layers, locking in their delicate flavor while creating their signature crispness. After baking, the wafers are sent to a cooling section where a smart space-saving spiral design allows them to cool gradually from the outside in keeping their crunch perfectly intact. By the time they reach the bottom of the tower, the wafer sheets are ready to meet the freshly prepared silky chocolate coating, kicking off the assembly stage where KitKat truly comes to life. As soon as the wafer sheets leave the cooling tower, one of KitKat's secrets begins to take shape, the smooth chocolate filling in the middle. Its ingredients aren't just chocolate and sugar, but also finely ground imperfect KitKat bars from earlier in production, known in the factory as reworks. This ensures the flavor and texture between the wafer layers are perfectly consistent. On the production line, the wafers are stacked in a precise sequence, one layer of chocolate filling, then another wafer repeated until the familiar structure is formed, 3 wafer layers with 2 layers of filling in between. They then pass through a cooling chamber, allowing the filling to set, so the layers stick firmly together while staying perfectly crisp. Once cooled, a robotic arm equipped with suction grippers lifts and neatly stacks the wafer sheets, after which precision blades swiftly slice them into perfectly portioned bars, the exact size we all know and love. In the blink of an eye, fully formed, KitKat bars appear lined up neatly on the conveyor belt, ready for the next stage of their journey. Next comes the most spectacular moment. The wafer strips are sent to the chocolate coating area. Here, high-speed machinery puts on an incredible show, with hundreds of molds filled every minute, producing over 200,000 chocolate bars a day. Warm, glossy liquid chocolate flows evenly from the pouring system, completely covering the surface of each wafer. One layer coats the bottom, another flows over the top, and finally, a finishing layer creates that signature smooth, shiny shell. Special scraping blades remove any excess chocolate, ensuring a flawless surface and crisp, clean edges. It's hard to resist the temptation of this process. The sight of molten chocolate meeting crisp wafer is like a dance on your taste buds, making you want to grab a fresh KitKat straight off the line. Before they ever reach a store shelf, each KitKat bar must pass a strict quality inspection. Even the smallest crack or air bubble in the chocolate coating is enough to be rejected from the line. But nothing goes to waste. These imperfect bars are finely ground and recycled into chocolate filling for the next batch of KitKats. The perfect bars, however, continue down the modern packaging line, ready to be wrapped in their iconic red packaging. High-speed robotic arms first wrap each bar in shiny foil, then add the signature red wrapper before grouping them into multi-packs or large cartons. Automated pallets neatly stack the boxes and move them into a fully robot-managed storage facility. The KitKat bars are now ready to begin their journey into the hands of chocolate lovers everywhere. Now break a KitKat in half and listen to that familiar, satisfying crunch. Some people like to eat it layer by layer, savoring the chocolate and the wafer. Others take a big bite and enjoy it all at once. But the world of snacks doesn't stop at chocolate and wafer. Right after that comes another equally familiar name, a biscuit that has been enjoyed by generations for over a century.
More than 100 years have passed, yet the allure of this cookie remains as strong as ever. Over 40 billion are produced each year. It's enjoyed in more than 100 countries. And annually, it brings in over $2 billion in revenue for its parent company. Its name, Oreo. With two crispy chocolate wafers sandwiching a smooth, creamy filling, the Oreo isn't just a snack, it's an icon, a symbol of childhood memories, sweet joy, and pop culture. But have you ever wondered what lies behind each little cookie? How do they manage to make millions of them all perfectly identical? Today, we're stepping inside the Oreo factory, where precision technology and craftsmanship come together to create this legendary cookie. Oreo was first created in 1912 by the National Biscuit Company, what we now know as Nabisco. Today, Nabisco is a brand under the global food giant Mondelez International. The cookie made a lasting impression with its simple, yet captivating design, two dark chocolate wafers sandwiching a sweet white cream filling. Over the past century, Oreo has expanded across the globe. Now produced in 18 countries and sold in over 100 else, it's become a household favorite, a national cookie loved by families around the world. But what has kept Oreo's charm alive for more than 100 years? Perhaps we need to start where it all begins, the ingredients. To create the perfect cookie, you have to start with the perfect ingredients. For the outer cookie, Oreo's recipe includes all-purpose flour, finely sifted to prevent clumping and ensure a light, crisp texture. Alkalized cocoa powder, which gives Oreo its signature dark color and smooth chocolate flavor without any bitterness. Fine white sugar salt, baking soda, and canola oil, all precisely measured according to an optimized ratio. The cookie itself isn't overly sweet, and that's intentional. It's designed to balance the cream filling. As for the cream in the middle, here's something surprising: there's no actual dairy in it. Instead, the filling is made of powdered sugar, palm oil, and corn syrup, a small amount of soy lecithin, an emulsifier that helps blend oil and water, creating that signature smooth texture, and finally, a touch of vanilla flavoring for that familiar comforting aroma. Every ingredient is carefully selected and rigorously tested before entering the production line, because in the food industry, consistency is never a coincidence. Once the ingredients are ready, the cookie's journey begins. With a seemingly simple step, mixing the dough, but in reality, this stage is critical. It determines the crispness, lightness, and signature texture of the Oreo cookie. In massive industrial mixers, sugar, cocoa, powdered salt, and baking soda go in first, followed by canola oil, which helps bind the dry ingredients together. Every ratio is carefully calculated: 40% flour, 25% dark cocoa powder, 15% sugar, 15% fat, and the rest made up of other components. Next, water is added, turning the mix into a thick, chocolatey paste, almost like chocolate soup. This is when a key element is introduced: dry ice. It doesn't just cool the dough, it helps maintain a stable, optimal temperature. Because if the dough gets too warm, it can crack, become hard to roll out, and lose its signature crispness when baked. After chilling and resting for about 30 minutes, leavening agents are added. This is the secret to giving the cookie just the right lift and airy crunch once it's baked. The result? A soft, pliable, silky smooth chocolate dough ready for the next step, shaping. After being thoroughly mixed and chilled, the chocolate dough moves on to one of the most fascinating steps, shaping. Here, the dough is rolled out onto a conveyor belt and passed through a flattening system. Then, precise cutters stamp out perfectly round cookies accurate down to the millimeter. But what truly makes an Oreo special isn't just the shape. At this stage, a custom-designed steel roller presses an intricate symmetrical pattern into each cookie, along with the iconic Oreo name boldly centered. This isn't just decoration, it's branding. Studies show that embossing the logo and pattern can boost the perceived value of the cookie by up to 90%. Because let's face it, everyone loves a treat with a signature mark that makes it memorable. This embossing machine can produce up to 6,000 cookies per hour, ensuring the line runs continuously and precisely without a single detail out of place. Once shaped and stamped, the cookies head straight into the oven, where the outer shell is baked to perfection. The freshly shaped cookies now enter a fiery journey through a massive industrial oven stretching an incredible 280 feet, about 85 meters long. Inside, temperatures range from 340 to 360 degrees Fahrenheit, around 170 to 180 degrees Celsius. Each cookie is baked for just 10 to 12 minutes, long enough to cook the dough and achieve the perfect crispness, while still keeping a light tender texture inside. What's crucial here is precision. Both time and temperature must be controlled down to the second. If it's too hot or goes on too long, the cookies turn dry hard and lose that iconic melt-in-your-mouth sensation Oreo is known for. Once they exit the oven, the piping hot cookies are immediately cooled by high-powered fans. This rapid cooling stabilizes their structure and locks in that signature crunch. From here, they're ready for what many consider the heart of an Oreo, the creamy filling in the middle. There's no filling quite like Oreos. Smooth, creamy, gently sweet, and remarkably stable even at room temperature. The secret lies in its perfectly engineered texture, achieved without using any dairy. That's why Oreo spells it Creme instead of cream, to distinguish it from real milk-based products. Inside large industrial mixers, the ingredients are added with precise, fully automated ratios: powdered sugar, palm oil, corn syrup, and soy lecithin, an emulsifier that helps oil and water blend seamlessly, keeping the creme smooth and stable. The final touch is vanilla flavoring, which gives Oreo its signature irresistible aroma. The mixing process takes place at a carefully controlled cool temperature between 68 and 75 degrees. If it gets too warm, the oil can separate, causing the creme to thin out and lose its glossy finish. Throughout the process, high-speed mixers continuously whip the mixture while scrapers clean the sides of the vats to prevent any clumps from forming. Finally, the creme is thoroughly tested for sweetness, smoothness, and elasticity, ensuring it meets exact standards before moving on to the next stage assembly. With the cookie halves cooled and the creme filling ready, the assembly process begins. On the conveyor belt, half of the Oreo cookies are lined up neatly. Above each one, a small nozzle dispenses a precise amount of creme, measured by a highly accurate automated system. Immediately afterward, the other cookie half is gently placed on top and pressed down with just the right amount of force, allowing the filling to spread evenly without spilling over the edges. The result, a perfectly assembled Oreo, balanced, clean, and consistent. This assembly line can produce up to 3,000 cookies per minute. That's 50 cookies every second. The entire system runs like clockwork with millimeter-level precision. But the process doesn't stop there. The freshly sandwiched cookies move through a rapid cooling tunnel, which sets the creme and stabilizes the structure before packaging. Throughout the process, sensors and workers constantly monitor the line to ensure every cookie is flawless, no off-center filling, missing creme, or broken edges. Once the cookies are fully assembled, the final but equally crucial stage begins: quality control and packaging. Even though the automated line operates with high precision, human oversight remains essential. At the inspection station, workers carefully watch as cookies move along the conveyor belt. Any cookie with off-center filling, cracked shells, or burnt edges is immediately removed. Only the cookies that meet exacting standards move on to automated packaging. Here, mechanical fingers gently place 11 cookies into each molded plastic tray. These trays are then sealed in protective packaging to preserve the cookies' crispness and flavor during transport. Finally, the packaged Oreos are placed into large cartons ready to be loaded onto trucks, and from there, shipped around the world to supermarkets, convenience stores, and even your own kitchen cabinet. Oreo's journey doesn't end with packaging and distribution. What allows this cookie to last for more than a century is its ability to be produced with extreme precision and consistency, at a scale of tens of billions of pieces every year. And Oreo is not the only product made this way. Every year, millions of people around the world enjoy Cheetos for their signature light, crispy texture and familiar golden orange cheese coating. From quick snacks to movie nights at home, Cheetos has become a familiar part of modern life. This legendary crispy snack has been on store shelves in the US since 1948, created by Charles Doolin, the founder of Frito Company, and quickly became a commercial hit. With its unique blend of salt cheddar cheese and signature seasonings, Cheetos has won over the taste buds of millions around the world. Not only does this snack have the perfect crunch, but it also keeps you coming back for more one piece after another. The Cheetos production process begins with vast fields of golden corn, where each corn stalk undergoes a growth cycle lasting 3 to 4 months depending on the variety. The harvest season typically runs from mid-August to mid-October, when the kernels reach perfect ripeness. To ensure the process is fast and efficient, farmers use massive harvesters equipped with sharp blades, which help gather the corn without damaging the kernels. After harvest, the corn cobs are transported to storage bins on large trucks ready for the next step. At the factory, the corn is unloaded and placed onto a massive conveyor belt. The corn is then transported to the husking area, where high-speed rollers with rough surfaces remove the husks and silk in just seconds without damaging the kernels. Next, the corn is sent to a high-tech kernel separator. Each cutting head of this machine is equipped with extremely sharp rotating blades that spin at high speeds, allowing the kernels to be separated quickly and accurately. Once the kernels are separated, they are stored in large silos, where temperature and humidity are tightly controlled to prevent mold growth. With its powerful conveyor system, the factory processes over 150,000 tons of corn every year. Every day, the factory produces up to 4 million bags of Cheetos, which equals 18 tons per hour or more than 1 billion bags annually. To meet this massive demand, the factory relies on a supply of yellow corn, rich in starch, ideal for the extrusion process. The corn is harvested when fully ripe, with a moisture content of about 15%, ensuring the best quality for the production process. Once properly processed and stored, the corn is ground into a fine powder, a soft, uniform flour ideal for the extrusion process. This corn flour is then fed into the extrusion process, where it is shaped into the crispy Cheetos pieces we know and love. After sifting, the corn flour is mixed with just the right amount of water to create a dough-like mixture, preparing it for the manufacturing process. The corn dough is then fed into the extruder, a massive industrial machine that operates at high pressure and temperature. This is where the distinct shape of each Cheetos piece is formed. Inside the extruder, the dough is cooked at temperatures ranging from 150 to 200 degrees C. Pressures of up to 100 bar help create the signature texture. As the dough passes through the extruder, the high heat and pressure cause it to puff up. This physical phenomenon, known as flash expansion, is the key element that gives Cheetos their unique texture. To ensure uniform size, a rapidly rotating blade cuts the puffed dough into precise pieces. The cutting process is carefully synchronized with the extrusion speed to maintain consistency in size, a critical factor in ensuring product quality. In addition to the traditional Cheetos, there is also a spiral version, created by a special extruder which forms twisted strands, offering a new twist on the classic crunch. After shaping, the Cheetos undergo a final quality check to ensure each piece is uniform in size and weight. Then, the Cheetos are transported via conveyor belts to the drying chamber where excess moisture is removed. Next is the frying process. The snack is fried in hot oil at around 150 degrees for a few seconds. At this point, Cheetos begin to develop the signature crunch we all love. Some varieties of Cheetos are baked instead of fried, giving them a softer texture, while still maintaining the classic cheesy flavor. After frying, Cheetos are coated with cheese and seasoning. Each year, about 400 tons of cheddar cheese are used to create the distinctive flavor of Cheetos. The cheese is mixed with oil, salt, and other spices to create the unique taste that makes them irresistible. It is at this stage that Cheetos truly become stars. They are placed into a massive rotating drum where each piece of Cheetos is evenly coated with the signature cheese powder. The coating is evenly distributed to ensure each piece of Cheetos looks visually appealing. The rotating drum ensures that each piece is bathing in culinary gold. Thanks to the cheese, Cheetos get their vibrant orange color. Not only is it visually appealing, but it also leaves a trace of color on your fingers. For many people, licking the orange powder off their fingertips is an essential part of the experience, extending the enjoyment even after the last bite. Once fully seasoned, the Cheetos move through a cooling system to maintain their crunch when packaged. High-tech sensors and cameras check each batch to ensure the product is the correct shape, size, and color. The quality control team also checks for salt, oil, and moisture content. When the product is approved, the batch of cheesy Cheetos moves on to the packaging area. Cheetos are packed into bags at a rate of 100 bags per minute. The super-fast packaging machines complete the filling, sealing, and bagging process in just a few seconds. Each bag is sealed from the bottom up, then filled from the top and completely sealed. The finished Cheetos are then placed into cardboard boxes and stacked onto pallets. This entire process is handled by robots, which also wrap the pallets and load them onto trucks, ready to be shipped worldwide. The factory has 8 production lines, each capable of producing about 28 tons of Cheetos daily. Every day, 55 trucks leave the factory to deliver goods to supermarkets and stores around the world. And that's the entire Cheetos production process. From raw materials to the finished product, every step is carried out meticulously and perfectly to bring you those crispy, flavorful snacks. Cheetos is not just a snack, it's an essential part of gatherings with friends, fun conversations, or simply moments of personal enjoyment. What about you? Are you a Cheetos fan? And can you stop at just one? Let us know in the comments, are you team can't stop eating or team just one bite? And hey, don't forget to share this with your snack-obsessed friends.